To this fiscal cliff here, both sides agreeing to get serious, take the fight behind closed doors, no more leaks. But we have heard the House Speaker will update us on the talks in the hour from the House floor. So we'll see what Speaker Boehner has to say. But joining us right now, California Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff and Republican Congressman John Campbell. They both join us. Congressman Schiff, let me begin with you. Will you vote if there's an agreement for whatever the president agrees with Speaker Boehner on?
Well, I don't give anyone a blank check, so I'll have to see what's in the final package. But I think it's going to be fairly close to what the president has proposed, and that is a balanced plan that will increase revenues by raising the rates on upper-income families, but at the same time agreeing to substantial spending cuts.
Because the reason
if it is balanced in that way, I would certainly expect to support it, but I don't want to sign on anything without seeing what's in it.
Fair enough. And I want to ask, the reason I started by asking that question, Congressman Campbell, is because I'm sure it's frustrating to members of Congress to really not be involved in this. This is about two guys behind closed doors, which may be a more efficient way, I don't know, of coming to an agreement. But what about from your side of it? Will the Speaker have the votes, even if he gives in, say he gives in on tax rates, for example?
We don't know, and as you suggested, you can't have 218 or 435 or 535 people in a room trying to negotiate. So this is the way you kind of have to do it, is one-on-one. But in the end, the Speaker has one vote, and he needs 217 other people in the House and 60 people in the Senate to make that deal become law and actually bring that deal through. So I don't think there's any guarantees on it either way.
Follow up with you, Congressman Campbell, before I go back to Congressman Schiff. What cannot be in this deal? What's a deal breaker for you from the Republican side?
If there is not any entitlement, significant and rapid entitlement reform. This is what this is about, in my opinion, is the deficit. It is not about taxes. The deficit will bring this country down. We're not talking about taxes. I don't think the tax increases are a good idea. I don't think they'll reduce the deficit much. But Adam and my Democratic colleagues disagree, and if that's what we want, that's fine. But in the end, we have to put together something that will make a significant reduction in this deficit. We can't do that without impacting the major entitlements.
Right. So how much can you then, Congressman Schiff, stomach on that end of it? Because that's what it's going to come down to, right? I mean, the president put a plan on the table. It's been countered since by the Republicans, but it only had, say only because the Republicans want more, $350, $400 billion in these Medicare cuts. I mean, to get a deal, he may have to get more than that. How much can you stomach?
Well, first of all, I don't think it makes sense to even have Social Security on the table, so I think that is a deal breaker for most Democrats. Social Security didn't get us into this problem. It's not responsible for getting us out of this problem. But the president has proposed to make savings in Medicare, and of course, the question is, how will those be obtained? I think if we can reduce the cost of health care, reduce the cost of the Medicare system, that's something Democrats may be able to embrace. But if it's just the Republicans trying to get a pound of flesh out of middle-class seniors by going after their health benefits under Medicare, that's a non-starter. So a reduction in benefits is problematic, but finding additional savings like we did in the Affordable Care Act under Medicare, that's something that certainly could be entertained.
Let me just gauge your confidence then on both sides. Congressman Schiff, let you go first this time. What odds would you give it that we'll get something done, not necessarily before Christmas, doesn't matter, but at least by the end of the year, before the new year?
I'm very confident that we're going to avert the fiscal cliff. I think the only issue is how much of this are we going to get done? Are we going to just solve the immediate problem and kick the rest of the can down the road? I hope we do more than that, but we're not going to go over the cliff.
That's becoming more and more likely, I think, as we get closer, just because of the logistics of it, Congressman Campbell.
I'm not at all confident, actually, and just hearing what Adam said doesn't make me any more confident. If you want to wreck Medicare, leave it alone, because it is on schedule to wreck itself, and very, very soon. We have to reform it to save it. And when I hear this stuff that, like, we're trying to push Granny over the cliff, that's absolute garbage, and that is not going to make a deal. If we want to make a deal and make something happen here, we have to reduce the deficit. And do you have to reduce the deficit by reforming Medicare, Medicaid, and, yes, Social Security? You have to deal with all of them. And when I hear my Democratic colleagues say, no, we're just going to increase taxes in a month and maybe we'll do something with Medicare 10 years away or 15 years away, that is not going to work. At least it's not going to work with this voter.
We're going to wrap it up for today, but it's interesting to hear this discussion out, because remember, the deal's about two men. It's about the Speaker and the President, but the votes to get it approved are about the gentleman like you just heard from, Congressman Schiff and Congressman Campbell. Thanks to both of you.